The American dream. Work hard, go to college, get a stable job, buy a home, start a family, live happily ever after. That was the script. But today, millions of young Americans are throwing that script in the trash. And not because they're lazy, entitled, or impatient. They're drowning in debt, working jobs that barely pay rent, living through climate disasters, mass shootings, tech layoffs, and mental health crises. And yet, every day, they scroll through a feed that says, "It's your fault." So now a new question emerges. What happens when an entire generation stops believing in the dream they were sold? Welcome to the untold story of Gen Z versus the American dream, the myth we were sold. For decades, the American dream meant upward mobility. If you follow the steps, school, degree, job, mortgage, you'd live better than your parents. That dream built America's middle class. But for Gen Z, the ladder is broken, and the cost of each rung has skyrocketed. Today, the average student graduates with $37,000 in debt. Homeownership is out of reach for most under 30. The US minimum wage hasn't increased since 2009, while inflation has exploded. Meanwhile, elite universities charge $80,000 a year, selling status and stress more than education. And those entry-level jobs? Many now demand 5 years of experience, plus unpaid internships. Generation hustle and burnout. Gen Z didn't wait for things to get better. They adapted. They became dropshipping pros, freelancers at 16, crypto traders in college, social media managers, brand builders, Etsy sellers. But here's the catch. Hustle culture turned survival into a full-time job. A 2024 Deloitte study found 54% of Gen Zs feel emotionally exhausted all or most of the time. They're always on. Even rest feels like guilt. Because if you're not building something, you're falling behind. The American dream became less about freedom, more about constantly proving your worth. Trapped in a broken system. Everywhere they turn, Gen Z faces walls. Housing, rents have doubled in many major cities in the past 5 years. In some neighborhoods, even roommates can't make rent work. Healthcare? One ER visit can wipe out months of savings. Many skip treatment because they don't have insurance, despite working full-time. Climate change? They've grown up watching wildfires, hurricanes, and record heat waves become normal. Gun violence? Mass shooter drills are just part of childhood now. How do you chase a dream when you're constantly just trying to stay safe? Social media and the illusion of choice. Social media was supposed to connect us. But for many Gen Zs, it became a mirror of everything they can't have. Every day, they see influencers buying Teslas and Lamborghini, traveling to Bali, and preaching about manifestation. Behind every scroll is a question. Why not me? This isn't jealousy, it's despair. Because even those who follow all the rules still feel stuck. It's not just keeping up with the Joneses. It's comparing your struggle to someone else's highlight reel, 24/7. And when that becomes too much, they unplug completely. Quiet quitting, soft life, anti-work. These aren't trends, they're survival tactics, rebellion and realignment. Here's where things get complicated. Gen Z is fractured in its response. Some find refuge in hustle culture, echoing figures like Andrew Tate. Money, power, grind or die. Others align with leftist ideals, redistribution, universal basic income, free education. Some are spiritual seekers, while others dive into nihilism. But all are saying the same thing in different ways. This system doesn't work for us. They're not trying to burn everything down. They're asking why the house was built without a door for them. And while older generations point fingers, calling them lazy or weak, very few are actually listening. The new dream. Here's the plot twist. Despite the chaos, Gen Z isn't just walking away. They're rebuilding. They're redefining success on their terms. Remote work and digital freedom. Emotional wellness over wealth. Decentralized systems. Collaborative, not competitive. Communities they're creating. Apps for anxiety. Financial literacy channels. Mutual aid networks. Black-owned skincare lines from dorm rooms. Climate-focused tech solutions. They're not looking for handouts. They're just asking for a fair shot and using tech to build what legacy systems ignored. So, what now? So here's where you come in. This conversation isn't about blame. It's about truth. Gen Z isn't killing the American dream. They're exposing the parts that never worked for everyone and reimagining the parts that could. But this isn't a one-generation battle. We need boomers to share wisdom, not shame. Millennials to stand with, not above, them. Gen Alpha to see new possibilities. And Gen Z to keep building, loudly, boldly, together. Because this isn't just a generational crisis. It's a cultural turning point. So now we ask you, is Gen Z fixing a broken system? Or are they just running from responsibility? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from every generation. If this video made you feel something, like, share, subscribe, because these conversations need to be heard, not buried. This is Hot Take Nation, where we don't sugarcoat the truth, we stir it.